This is not revision. This is not revision. This is definitely not revision. The purpose of revision is simply to prepare you for your exams. Anything that makes you better, faster and more efficient when answering exam questions is revision. The rest is just procrastination and you're kidding yourself. After nearly a quarter of a century of teaching A-levels and GCSEs to students of all abilities at a top independent school, I've got a good idea of what really works and what will not be a good way of spending your time. I've also taken a look at the most up-to-date research, so I'm going to give you 10 tips to help you revise and prepare for exams. There's also a bit of a bonus tip at the end. I know how tough revision is for some, but the toughest thing is starting. Everybody is different. Some will like to have a schedule to stick to, and others will just want to seize moments when they can. I do suggest, though, you don't wait until you're in the mood. Make a start and see if your mood changes. So how do you make making a start easier? Firstly, have an organised workspace and have everything ready and set up for you to go the second you sit down. So tip 1, have an organised workspace. Yes, do sit down. After all, that's how you're going to take your exam. Have your work ready to go. For example, have an exam paper open on the question that you want to attempt. Make sure you've got the pen, the pencil, the rubber, the ruler, the calculator, whatever else you need, all ready before you even come and sit down. If you have exam concessions that are individual to you, then if you can, have them available to you during your revision if appropriate. But this may not always be possible. Tip 2. Short bursts are fine. Why not start with 10 minutes? If everything's ready to go, 10 minutes of productive work is a good start. After you've done that a few times, build it gradually to 15, then to 20 minutes. Doing regular short bursts will soon become rewarding and easier. Remember, though, that your revision time doesn't start until everything's ready for you to go and you pick up your pen and you go. Anything else is procrastination. Tip 3. Acknowledge your successes. Know what you want to accomplish each session and be proud of yourself for doing it. These don't have to be big goals like learning a topic or completing a whole paper. They can be simple goals like being able to write out 3 complete definitions, maybe learning 5 equations, or even getting 60% in an exam question if that's a good score for you. Achieving a few of these goals every day means that you'll soon be making good progress. Number 4, lose your phone. Yes, you knew I was going to say that somewhere. As much as we love these things, we know that they don't make good companions to study. Why not put it in a drawer in another room or hand it over to somebody else for 20 or 30 minutes? Tip number 5, what not to do. Sitting there reading your textbook or revision guide is not helping you very much. By all means, use them as a reference source, but just reading them is what we sometimes call passive revision. Passive revision techniques are ones that are easy and make you feel like you're doing something, but actually have very little impact on your learning. Other examples are just copying out notes or just highlighting words or passages. These sort of things make you feel like you're revising, but they're ineffective. Tip number 6, what to do. Active revision is where you question what you know and understand. Active revision techniques are the most effective way of revising. It's been shown that those who use active revision strategies outperform those who use passive revision strategies. So what are some active revision techniques? As already mentioned, one of the most effective things is to attempt questions. Just attempting the questions doesn't go far enough, however. You then need to mark the question and then look up and correct your mistakes. You can then repeat this process with the same question during another revision session, and that will check to make sure you're making progress. This is especially important if it's a long and challenging answer. Other forms of active revision include writing your own questions with answers, drawing detailed labelled diagrams from memory, then comparing them to the ones in your notes, or writing explanations in your own words, and then checking their accuracy. Above all else, you should be repeatedly asking yourself, how does this work? And why does it work this way? Especially if you want to get a top grade. A quote popularly attributed to Einstein says that you don't understand something properly unless you can explain it simply. This is indeed a great test. Give it a go. If you're too shy to explain a topic to somebody else, why not record yourself and play it back? Trust me, Trying to teach something complicated can be a real eye-opener to your own understanding. Tip number 7, eat, sleep and exercise healthily. I know this is a difficult one for some, and it's one that you probably didn't want to hear, but if you want to improve your levels of concentration and your efficiency, be healthy. Have as much routine in your life as possible. Eat sensibly at meal times, go to bed at a sensible time and get a full night's sleep without a screen. Get yourself outside in the fresh air, especially during breaks in your revision. Go for a walk, play sports, swim, whatever you can do. The activity will help you eat and sleep properly, and in return your revision will be more efficient and easier. Not to mention you'll be in a better state for your exams. A healthy lifestyle will also help you with your stress and your anxiety, which you will undoubtedly feel at some point. Tip number 8. Flashcards, good or bad? As we've already said, just writing out notes is considered passive revision, and is not really very helpful. Flashcards do have their place though. If you need to learn facts, then do make up a set of flashcards and put them in your pocket so you can test yourself during the day. Do not, however, spend a long time making them and think you're revising, because you're not. For physics, for example, I would suggest having a set of cards in your pocket on equations and definitions. An example would be, what is the definition of specific heat capacity on one side? On the other, it would say, the amount of energy required to raise the temperature of 1 kilogram of a substance by 1 degree C. Using a set of flashcards like this on the bus or in the dinner queue would definitely be helpful for when you sat down and did your revision sessions later. Number 9, make a list. Whilst revising, keep a notepad and a pen on your table so you can write down things that you struggle with. If you find that after looking things up or watching a video or two that you're still a bit lost, then ask. I can tell you as a teacher that there's nothing I enjoyed more than helping a student who's actively trying to progress. Just 5 minutes of your teacher's time can make things clear very quickly, again making your revision more efficient and more rewarding. I guess this leads me to a shameless plug. I have lots of free videos and resources on my website, www.videoplatoacademy.com. As I produce this video, I also have a handful of slots available for one-to-one online sessions, and they're about £30 for 40 minutes. I'm happy to look at any GCSE, IGCSE or A-level physics topics or exam questions, and I can tailor these sessions to suit your individual needs. I appreciate that for many, 30 quid is a lot of money, and so I've set up some £12 classes for groups of up to 6 people. You could always join one of those. Check out my website for more details. Tip number 10, before I get to the bonus tip, should you listen to music? There are some circumstances where music can help you focus and helps time go past more quickly. This is for when you're doing repetitive or mundane tasks, not for revision. I know this is not what you wanted to hear, but let me give you the facts and my thoughts on when you should use music. Listening to music has a negative impact on your working memory. Your working memory is what you use for problem solving and learning. Music also lowers reading comprehension, especially stuff with the voice in or vocal frequencies like a piano or a cello. It's also been shown that some can develop a dependency on music to actually sit down and do tasks. And that's certainly poor preparation for an exam. The good news is music can improve our mood, and after listening to some music for a short period, 10-15 minutes, it can improve our cognitive ability slightly. This may be down to improved mood and attention levels due to listening to music that makes us happier and more energized, rather than actually the music itself. I find music a great reward during breaks. Even now I'll put a favourite song on and sing and dance around the room to celebrate when I've done a good piece of work. It stimulates and rewards me before I sit down and get back on with things. There's a lot of unscientific and bad advice online about listening to music when studying and revising. If you really want to listen to music while you're studying, which I strongly suggest you don't for the reasons I've just said, the science says you should pick slow instrumental music and keep the volume down. You should also pick music that you don't have strong feelings about. It shouldn't be stuff that you love or hate. Avoid vocals in the music and definitely don't stream music with commercial breaks. Before I give you the bonus tip, let's recap in 10 seconds. Ready your workspace. Be active with your revision rather than passive. Praise yourself for even small successes. Be healthy. Seek help. Lose your phone. So the bonus tip. Start where you will boost your marks the most. It's easy to revise stuff that you're already familiar and happy with. Start with something that's difficult, that you're not sure about. You'll make the most improvement and gain the most marks for your time and effort, making your revision more efficient. There's lots of advice that I could give you about how often to repeat topics and how to plan your revision sessions, but this video is long enough already. The most important thing is just to get on with it.